Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Azabi here, back again with Attack on Titan Season 4. We are on episode 6, and in the last episode, Declaration of War. It was just a really good episode, wasn't it? I think it's definitely up there with my favourite episodes of the show. I think it really is, because I just think that everything was just laid out so perfectly. The episode was so well paced, and it was just... I felt like coming into this that episode... It just felt like the whole episode was like one scene, obviously split between the two perspectives of Eren and Reiner and Willie Tybur giving the speech and the stage play and everything like that. But having them go on like simultaneously, I just felt like, you know what I mean, the tension was just at its maximum because we didn't know like when the bomb was going to drop, you know, and of course it ended up doing so at the very end. But, you know, with the after credits scene for episode 4, having basically this just be set up, like, you know, it's just like the stage has been set, figuratively and literally, you know, with the two sides in that episode. But it was just really, really fucking good. What do I really want to talk about here? There was one thing that I did put in last week's episode, which was, you know, like when I put up the text, if I've missed something that I don't talk about, I did put in that I was wondering actually, with all of the influential people at that place that's about to be completely massacred and destroyed, if none of them get out, then technically the word of, you know, the declaration of war against Paradis will not get out of the world, right? Which means that, you know, and you've got to think that they must have known that, right? The Paradis lot, they must have known. I mean, obviously we've talked about how Eren, you know, they had this plan laid out because we had that one soldier dude trap Piek and Galliard in the hole, so they all had this set up to play out the way that it did, knowing that you know, a declaration of war was actually coming. But I just wonder if the point is that everyone who is there, all the newspaper outlets and everything like that, if they all die, it's not going to get out to the rest of the world. So it kind of... it should be a good plan, but we'll see where it goes from here on. So, yeah, someone did actually comment in the last episode, basically saying, like, why didn't I talk about, like, Willie's death? But then, like, I didn't talk about it because technically he didn't die there. Or if he did, it wasn't, like, plain as day, right? I mean, the insinuation is that Eren's going to eat him by the looks of it, right? But, I mean, until, like, I get that clear-cut, yes, okay, right, he's definitely dead now then. I mean, I just didn't feel like there was any need talking about it. But, you know, I mean, I'm sure we'll get it in this episode. It was just that, you know, I mean, even going into, like, talking about that last scene anyway, like, when, you know, Eren finally turns into the Attack Titan, he looks absolutely he looks massive. He looks bigger, and I don't know if, like, if he actually is, or if it's just perspective, or what, but he actually looks bigger than he normally is, because normally he's 15 meters, right? He looks taller than that. He looks way bigger, so, I don't know, we'll see. But, yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about, right? Don't think so. We don't know whether Reiner and Falco are okay. I'm going to assume that they are. I mean, we talked about that last episode anyway in the post-discussion. You know, but I mean, they were trapped, like, they were in a basement when he transformed, so I don't really know. I don't really know if they truly got out of there unscathed, but we'll just have to find out, right? So, yeah, we're going to get in episode 6. So, yeah, as always, the reaction will be here on YouTube. But if for whatever reason in the future, if it gets taken down for copyright, I will re-upload this as a discussion-only video, and the reaction will be in the description below, okay? And that'll take it to my website where you can watch it there. And as always, the link to the full-length reaction to this episode will be in the description below, so if you want to watch this reaction in full, and not just the cut 10-minute version, then the offer is there for you. But yes, nothing else to really talk about, so we're going to get in episode 6 and see what we get, so without further ado, let's go. Why does it seem like he knows he's going to die?
狙われるとしたら演説の最中だろうか。
マーレ軍幹部が公の場で一堂に会するのはその時だけです。
ならば軍幹部は橋の特等席へできるだけ一区画にまとめておくように。
Why would it?
ラ
What?
イバー家もただ遊んでいたわけではない。先代に比べてはな。気づいた時には敵は海を渡り我々の首元まで迫っていた。危惧すべきはパラディ島勢力の協力者の影だが、依然その実態がつかめないままでいる。
Conspirators. So there are people working with them.
我が
And...
国マーレは
Shit.
敵の襲撃計画を甘んじて受け、それを最大限に利用する。無能な幹部などくれてやればいい。敵の目的がマーレ軍に損害を加えることならまさに好都合じゃないか。
しかし
Wow.
大勢死にます。
今更じゃないかマガト隊長。
これは戦争ではありません。敵の正体や目的、攻撃手段が不明なままタイマー湖。私はおそらくあなたを守ることができない。
This is a cool soundtrack. I like
当
this.
然覚悟の上だ。私が表に立たなければ世界は目を向けてくれない。何より私を含めレベリオ収容区のエルディア人は哀れな被害者でなくてはならない。私だけそこから逃れていては世界を味方につけるどころではなくなる。
So he's sacrificed himself, which is... I mean, I've got to respect him for that, I guess. Like, in a way, it's a lot like Erwin. Okay. Fuck. Well, that's it. He's dead then. Fuck, he looks so fucking evil. The Warhammer Titan. So it's definitely Willie that doesn't have the hair. Oh, God, dude. Fuck. Look. Oh, she's gone, man. Jesus. She's the Warhammer Titan. Fuck, I thought it was the guard. Oh, whoa. Wow, dude! Eren didn't give it any time.
エレン・イエーガーご本人がお越しだ。
Fucking hell! What the fuck? What was that, dude? That is insane! Jesus Christ, dude. Right.
遅いよピークさん。
アンサー隊か。どうしてここが。
あの顎ひげが怪しかったから手を打っても
Oh, fucking hell. Really?
私たちを尾行して。
Of course. Of course.
の広場が巨人に襲われました。先に行っとくぞ。
待ってプルコ、少し様子を見てから。
なんだ。
Oh, fuck! Oh, shit! Oh, God! Damn, dude, the scouts are here! What the hell, dude? He can actually summon a fucking Warhammer. This is nuts. What the fuck is this? Jesus, Eren! It looks mad! Jesus! This one can talk as well.
今だ、ミカさん。
Oh fuck! Shit, dude! Thunder spears! That's so cool, dude! They weren't expecting the scouts! This is amazing! They're using the fucking... Look how cool!
来てくれたんだな。
They look fucking awesome, dude, in the black!
帰ってきて。
Jesus! Is that Jean?
重力ごと燃やすつもりか。民間人への被害は最小限に抑えろ。分かってんのか、フロック。俺たち壁内人類がどれだけ壁の外の奴らに殺されてきたか忘れたか。エレンは示した。戦えってな。 俺たちはただ壁の中で死を待つだけじゃない。
Interesting. So they're not all on the same page?
あの悪魔が必要だ。
あなたは民間人を殺した。子供も殺した。
ミカサ、まだ終わってない。
そんなはずはない。うなじを完全に吹き飛ばした。
死んでない。
Is that a crossbow? Fucking hell!
ミカサ、奴の注意を引いてくれ。うまくいけば潜水の巨人を食える。
Fucking hell.
ガビー、お前は家族と一緒にいろ。
私も戻る。ウドとゾフィアがなんで殺されたのか
Oh, man.
わからないから。
ガビー、こんなとこで何してんだ。バカ言ってんじゃねえぞガキ。お前は家に帰って。
Guess we'll just fix.
おい、大丈夫。
Oh! Fucking Sasha! He's a fucking sharpshooter, alright.
この道も塞いだ。行くぞ、サシャ。
Connie. I thought Connie was the soldier last episode, but it mustn't have been. So it was Armin then? He's got a sword. She's got a sword now. Fuck's sake.
何が起きたっておかしくねえよ。
This is cool as fuck.
潜水の巨人が現れた時に感じた違和感だ。こいつは足元から体ができていった。うなじからではなく、ステージ中央の地面からだ。
What?
潜水の本体
It's
は
not in the. Oh my god, dude! Fucking hell, Eren!
まずい。潜水の巨人が食われる。
Oh, fucking hell! Eren! Oh fuck! Oh my god, he's here!
今のこいつが
Levi's here! Fucking hell! The cock.
俺は巨人だぞ。
They don't care!
姿のまま俺を殺す気か。
Galliard doesn't know about the scouts, dude.
パラディ島の悪魔。
Fucking no! Oh, episode 6. Well, that sure as hell didn't disappoint, did it? Fucking hell. Wow. I don't even know where to begin with that, because there's so much going on. There's so much happening. Like, fuck. I mean, the thing is as well, it's not going to stop either, because where we ended, it's now just going to continue over into the next episode. But, oh, right, okay, I need to figure out where I'm going to start with this. Like, how do I even start? I don't even want to start with the start of the episode, because I'm fucking just... I'm like shaking with with hype, you know? Fuck. Okay, right. Alright, okay, you know what? We'll just fucking talk about the end. God, because it's so cool. We'll talk about the fucking scouts, because that it's just cool how they're introduced back into the show again. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was anticipating something, like, and now the letters and stuff made sense. I thought that there were more, like, you know, like, I thought the scouts were, like, at least all of them were kind of situated in Liberia, right? I thought they were all, like, there, but I'm guessing the letters were actually over at Paradise. There must have been, right? There must have been. Because Mikasa just, like, you know, was asking him to come home. And that brings up another point, is that Eren and the scouts, or at least not all of the scouts, are not on the same page. Like, there's, like, a different... Eren's, like, pushing forward like he's supposed to. He's always pushing forward, but it seems as though not everyone is truly kind of on board with that, and you got that with the likes of Jean and Flock, right? Which is interesting that as well, like seeing Flock so, I guess, like sort of admiring and respecting what Eren's doing, because obviously in the last season they were kind of, you know what I mean, they were clashing, so that is really interesting. Fucking hell. So yeah, it's going to be interesting just to see who, I guess, lies on what side. At the end of the day, like, this is the thing, like, now we're in a situation where they kind of have to fight back. Like, Eren and the Paradise slot, like, because if they just stay on Paradise, then they're going to get, you know what I mean, they're just going to have to defend constantly, you know what I mean, because they're at war, so it's like, at this point, they have to just go out and fight, and none of it is their fault, but it's just the way that it is, so it's crazy. I can't believe it, man. The Scouts, dude, have you seen their costumes? It's so good. I love the black. It looks fucking, oh god, that is it's sick. It's so good. I love their costumes, and I love the fact that Levi still wears the cape. That's great. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's that symbol, you know what I mean, along with like just like kind of like the wings of freedom, but like that's something that he keeps, it's like kind of a way for him to like remember the past, I suppose, and keep that with him at all times. I just can't, like, I can't get over, like, like my head's like scrambled and just like, fuck, what do I want to talk about? I don't know, Gabby? Right, so Zofia died. That sucks. It's not like, she was too sort of, I guess, prevalent, but the focus on this season, was kind of that group of kids, because they were the warrior candidates, right? So, it kind of focused a lot around them, and Zofia was kind of the least prevalent one out of the group, I think, because, Udo's dead now as well, Udo had a bit more with his story, we actually got a bit of backstory on him, but it's, that sucks. That sucks. I figured Udo didn't really have much of a chance. He looked absolutely... he looked battered. I tell you, this episode was gruesome, man. Fuck, And I think it's just crazy just having the... I don't know, like, there was something as well about, like, the stage, I'm talking about the stage that was set in the game, but, like, the stage for this fight, because it was in darkness, but you had these, like, these spotlights that were, like, lighting the place up, like, it just felt, like, so cinematic, that image of at the end, where Galliard is, like, surprised that the humans are actually, like, coming at him, like, I guess he's so, I don't know, I guess he's like got this sort of kind of power complex thing with being a Titan, that he thinks that humans aren't gonna actually come and like head on to him, but it's so cool, like, if you're seeing Galliard actually witness this, which is something that we've all seen before. I mean, this is nothing new for us, right? The Scouts do this. This is their whole point, was to, they have a way of attacking the Titans, and it was so cool. So yeah, talking about the stage with the spotlight behind, and Galliard's looking up, and you're just seeing these scouts like dart past each other. It's so cool, dude. It's fucking this show, man. This show is fucking epic. It's so good. It's so good, and you know, on that note, because it is so good, it's actually so. It's kind of heartbreaking that there are people out there that are hating on and saying that the CGI is bad. I don't see it. I don't know what they're saying. What is so bad about it? You know, I know that it's a different studio heading it up with Mappa, right? But you know, some of the you know, the one thing that was jarring for me, it was in episode 2, I think, when we had Zeke walking at one point, and I think when Udo was walking as well, like there was a perspective sort of shift with, like, you know, if you imagine like where the camera is, the frame was moving along, and the way that they were walking seemed very like jittery and jarring. But other than that, that's the only thing that like I can point out that was even that was jarring to me. I don't think the CGI is bad at all. So I don't know what they're saying, but it's heartbreaking because, you know, like this show could have, you know, not even continued. So, you know, like it's just. But yeah, we'll stop talking about that because I don't want to talk negative at all, like, about this show. Like, this show doesn't deserve negativity. It's that fucking good. So, God, what else? What else? The Warhammer Titan. Let's talk about that. So it's attached, but it's not. But it's not in the nape, or even in the body at all. But it's attached. But it's like, so it's almost like akin to like almost an umbilical cord, but attached to the foot or the ankle or something like that. And then similarly to Annie, encased in that sort of that hardening, which is so interesting. I was wondering, you know, about this, and I can't believe, like, last episode I was talking about, like, well, why is it called the Warhammer Titan then? Like, can it conjure a Warhammer? You know, because I was thinking, like, you know, if it was to wield a Warhammer, why? I mean, surely any of the Titans could wield a Warhammer, you know. But it does actually conjure it by using the hardening. But also, like, it's not just it doesn't just conjure a Warhammer. It can conjure anything. It can conjure different weapons. A crossbow, dude. That's just nuts. But I love it. That's great. But that's an interesting premise for an ability of a Titan, of something I never even considered. That would be, like, the sort of, not really the downfall, yeah, because Eren didn't actually manage to eat her, but it's sort of like a con to the Warhammer Titan. Whereas the Warhammer Titan's able to conjure up and, you know, by using the hardening to make different weapons and everything like that. Like, that's the pro about it, which makes it very strong, you know, but the fact is, like, that it isn't in the Titan, so it's always like, you know, that's a major downfall for the Warhammer Titan, especially, like, you know what I mean. Like, it's okay when they don't realize that that's where it is, but now that is a thing, you know, like, that information is now known. That that's crazy though. It's crazy. But it's interesting that, like, what I refer to as, like, the umbilical cord thing, like, when it was detached, actually bled, which is a surprise, you know, because the hardening that shell that you know, that the Tiber sort of sisters in there, that's not like, you know, that's not like an organism thing, you know. But I guess it's just basically it's just there attached as a connection point, right? Because we saw obviously when it was ripped off that, you know, it's like the Warhammer Titan like almost like shut down, like it was a robot, you know. Fuck. And I was wondering, like, how is he going to eat it? Like, can he just break through that? Like, that's hardening stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know. I don't even know if he could have broken through that. I'm guessing he could, because he was going to eat it anyway. So I'm guessing he must have been able to. But yeah, Galliard comes in, saves the day. I was wondering if, like, you know, that was just crazy that, like, yeah. It's fucking hell, man. Leave it up to Levi to have his, like, of course, his own entrance, you know, alongside Mikasa gets her own entrance as well. But I love the fact that they are like reusing the tech that we've seen before, which is really cool. So the Thunder Spears, of course, they would just keep using them because they're so, you know, they're valuable to getting through armor and everything. Like that's what they were built for, right? Primarily to take on Reiner. You know, so they know that it works again, and that's their version of like the armor piercing technology that is already in the world. But obviously, because Paradis are kind of behind in technology, that, you know, that's their thing to get through the armor. But also they're using the guns that was in the first half of season 3 that Kenny and his crew were using. It's great because obviously they know that they're coming up against humans as well, so it obviously pays to have that. Fucking hell. We had Sasha, who was bringing out her marksmanship game again, but this time it's just fun just seeing them use like an actual gun, you know. A one that you know requires bullets and gunpowder and everything like that, because, you know, before Sasha was, you know, handy with a bow and arrow, you know. But obviously that marksmanship just carries over, you know. I just love the fact that it is like, you know, you see one person get lit up, but the other guard, straight there, right there, right in between the eyes. Of course, it was Sasha, wasn't it? And yeah, and Connie as well. So it wasn't Connie that was the soldier last episode, which is what I was thinking, but it wasn't. So was it Armin then? And if so, when's the Colossal Titan coming out? God. It's going. He has to. He's going to, isn't he? He's going to. He's going to. He has to come out, man. We're going to see him in his Titan form. I can't wait for it, dude. Can't wait for Armin. My favourite character, dude. But I didn't think that was him last episode. I didn't think. Because he seemed like tall. You know what I mean? Like, he seemed quite big. And we know that Armin's not that big. But I don't know. I'm guessing with, like... What if that's, like, a side effect of being the Colossal Titan? That, like, it makes you grow. What if that's something? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Maybe that's what it is, then. And if that is Armin, then, yeah. Because I was wondering, like, I mean... When I was editing the video... the episode 5 last week, you know, there's a moment where like you see the soldier from behind and the helmet is obviously a bit up and you see that it's blonde hair underneath, but that it's like it is like cut similarly to Armin's hair, not as long as it was in previous seasons, but so yeah, I guess maybe it is Armin then, in which case I can't wait for the Colossal Titan, dude. So that's going to be sick. Because Armin's my favourite character. So, you know, that... Oh, it's going to be sick. So, yeah. That's that. So, yeah, Sasha kills that guard. Gabby has that sort of menacing, convinced look now. Like, similarly to Eren in the first season, you know, when he's like, "I'll kill them all," and that's I feel like that is now happening with Gabby, right? She's witnessed the death of her friends, witnessed the death of people she knows, you know, and like respects. Loads of civilians just getting absolutely massacred. So, and you know, now that's similarly to Eren. Now that's her sort of will and to push on. So yeah. Since we've talked about the other kids, Falco and Reiner, nowhere to be seen this episode. But because we haven't seen them, that's what makes me think that they definitely made it out. I think that's more telling. I think when it's kind of like that thing of when a show specifically doesn't show somebody getting killed, it's generally considered okay to just be like, okay, well, I guess I don't think they have died then, And I think out of, God, I don't know, I mean, if there was any point that you could say that Reiner was going to die, the end of last episode could have been one. You could have considered that like a sort of, I guess, a fitting kind of death, especially if he died saving Falco. But the problem is with that is well then, you know what I mean, that means that the Armored Titan is completely out of action for the rest of the show, really, right? Unless there's another drastic time skip. So and at that point the current Titans wouldn't be around anymore, the characters. So I feel like that just wouldn't happen. So yeah, I think it's very, very safe to just say that Reiner and Falco are still alive, right? So we'll see what happens with that. God, what else, man, dude? Yeah, so the I guess back with the Warhammer Titan. So it was the sister then. It wasn't the guard. Fuck. And he has me thinking that I was like, it's definitely the fucking guard. I'm pretty sure it is. There's got to be a reason as to why he's drawn so much taller than the rest of the guards, right? And I'm just thinking, you know what I mean? It's like, and I bet you any money that the mangaka did that on purpose. I bet you any money that he purposefully had one personal guard that was really tall, stood out from the rest of the guards, specifically so that when Willie, asks the commander, who do you think the Warhammer Titan is, then that he's in the room with them, right? And that I'm pretty sure there was, when he asked that as well, a shot came from behind that guard, you know what I mean? It actually showed him, which is interesting. So yeah, but I was completely wrong. It was a red herring, to say, which is fitting because they wear red uniforms. But yeah, so it was one of the Tiber sisters, it actually was, which is interesting. Especially you're getting I think it is interesting to have a specific Titan called the female Titan, so that whenever other Titans are revealed, you don't expect them to be female, which means that their identity is a hell of a lot more hidden, I mean, I never expected Amir, I never expected Piek, to be female, and similar with this, I didn't expect it to be a woman either. So really hides their identity more, which is really cool. And I love the fact of from the transformation, you know what I mean? That's obviously where Eren figured out that there must have been something from the bottom, right? I bet he was originally thinking that when, it's wait a minute. I guess because the Thunder Spears obviously didn't work, that she must be from somewhere else. That the transformation happened at the foot. And I bet he was thinking maybe she's in the foot, and then realized the cord. But obviously when it's transforming, right? Really cool transformation scene. Eren gave them no time. I love the fact that he didn't give it that. Nah, you know what I mean? There's something about Eren now that is so. It's such a natural transformation of his character at this point for him to be sort of blank face, seen a lot, nowhere near as emotional as he once was, right, in the previous seasons. This is such a natural evolution of his character. because you see this a lot, not just in other media, other stories, other shows, where, especially like if it's a show like that deals with war or something, eventually, a soldier will just get to a point where they've seen it all, and now it's like it doesn't really affect them or register that. Well, to say that it doesn't affect them is wrong, but all I'm saying is that it doesn't show on the face, right? If they have any sort of PTSD or anything like that, there are characters that deal with it in different ways, like Reiner, for example. But Eren is in that point where he's committing to the cause, like his cause, that he wants to come out and fight back, and he's not going to change his mind. At least I don't see it happening. And it's just like there's no more. It's almost like weight is lifted off his shoulders. You know what I mean? It's like he doesn't. You know what I mean? It's not about trying to get back to his home anymore and everything like that. That, it's almost like that was the last bit of. You know what I mean? Like that was his goal the whole time, was to get to Shiganshina, bring it back for humanity, but for him to get it back and go into the basement, find out what was in there, and then after that, it was like everything was like sort of lifted. You know what I mean? He didn't have to be so overly zealous in his sort of like in the way that he acted. So like everything from that point onwards, I feel like you saw him be solemn at the end of season 3, and then cut forward a few years, and it's like now Eren's just in this state of, it's like, this is what I'm doing, I can't afford, like, it's going to be a mixture of, like, I can't afford to feel, for these people anymore, and he understands Reiner and the situation that Reiner was in at the time, so now it's just like, I'm just doing, what you did, to me, but he understands Reiner, so it is cool seeing Eren just like not give in to any kind of pressure or anything like that, and he's just like so certain of himself. Like he's become like a really, I don't know, like if like reliable's like the right word, but there's something like calming now about the fact that Eren's just so like zen about it, like just it's mad. God, what else? I don't know. I guess we'll talk about the start of the episode. So obviously going back to Willy Tybur and his expectation to die there. In fact, that's what he wanted. You know what I mean? He's talking to the commander like about his plan and everything, about having the influential people and a lot of the military all clumped up around the place that's going to be attacked, because he wants to weed out conspirators and everything like that, which is interesting. And I figured I was right about this, and the one person that I'm positive is conspiring with Paradis is Lady Kiyomi, because she specifically said, like, shall we go then? The other side of that is that Lady Kiyomi is not conspiring with Paradis, but she was in on the plan of Willy dying and all of that, right? So it could be either or, but the fact that Willy specifically pointed out that people are conspiring with Paradis, meaning that they're not alone, and it's not just the entire world against them, because they may have friends on the outside, that Lady Kiyomi could be. She could be one of them. So we'll see. But like I said, either or, it could be, it could be either or. Regardless, it's one of them, isn't it? So, we'll see about that. And Willy so willingly sacrificing himself for that cause. It's like he had to be a martyr for this to for this war to happen, and because he willingly sacrificed himself for it, you have to kind of respect it. And I couldn't help but realize similarities between that and Erwin, right? I think that was done on purpose as well. I mean, even with them being in that, like in a carriage, right? There was those moments with Erwin when he was in the carriage, when he was talking to, talking to certain people and everything like that. Like there is that sort of Erwin vibe, I suppose, for this side, right? And the soundtrack as well, definitely a new one that we haven't heard before, and I love it. The soundtrack never fails to impress. So yeah, I mean, it's just crazy that I knew that there was something going on with, I was thinking it was more like Mali as a whole, but it was more of a kind of thing between, like Willie and the commander was just giving out the orders as he had to see fit for the whole plan to go the way that it did, clumping up everyone. And Willie basically saying, like, when you rebuild the army, then you'll have people on your side. They'll not be conspiring or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, fucking hell. I knew that something was going on, but I didn't know to what degree. So yeah, having the scene play out before Eren transforms, this was what he was wanting. And it's supposed to be the fact that he was made to be a tragic loss in the eyes of everyone else. And because they were talking about, because now there'll be no excuse, like, that's the reason they need for the world to be against them, because they now see them as true devils now. If they didn't before, they definitely do now, kind of thing. So there is that. It seems as though, like, the end goal is almost to just wipe the Eldians off the face of the planet. But yeah, it was made to be a tragic loss. So for sacrificing himself, you've got to respect that. But he did obviously keep civilians and everything there. You know what I mean? It's like the internment camp has to be one that, the people in there are also going to get killed. So yeah, insane episode, dude. I hope I haven't missed anything, but fucking hell, like it just, once it started, it never let up. So, you know what I mean? It's hard to, especially in these episodes, it's hard to fucking, remain focused on, like, the details that I want to speak about when everything is going full throttle at 120, So, yeah. But really fucking cool. So yeah, if I did miss anything, I apologise. But anyway, that is all I've got for this episode. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access. That's $5 a month. Gives you access to shows a week early. There's the full length tier, which gives you access to reactions in full. You know what I mean? So if you want to watch this episode in full, link is in the description. And there's also the exclusive tier, which gives you access to movie full-length reactions as well. So yeah, I'm going to be reacting to a lot of movies this year, so look forward to those. But anyway, that was all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.